Hi guys, thanks for joining me. This little sort of tutorial slash how-to is for our birdie masks, and what I'm going to do in this tutorial is I'm not going to necessarily take you through each step of creating the actual bird, because there is a video on our channel which is called the round robin, and that's using exactly the same template. So I'll pop a little link somewhere for that video, and then you can refer to that to actually filling the basic template. So what we're going to focus on in this tutorial are the actual masks themselves. So all of these masks are designed to fit with the Basic Birdie template, and as I just mentioned, this originally launched as the robin template. So if you purchased the robin template or the round robin kit combo or the trio of robin kit, then you will already have this template. So it's exactly the same template. And then all of these masks have been designed to fit with these templates. This one, for example, is the blue tip mask, and as you can see, they fit inside. So what we're going to do in this tutorial is I'm going to go through each individual sort of bird variation that we have and show you how to combine the fibres, what colours go where. There is also a PDF which takes you through each one of the birds, so we will touch on those during the tutorial as well. And we will hop straight in and start making our basic birdie. So in this section we're going to cover making the wren, and the wren it's such a lovely sweet little bird, although this one kind of looks like it's got a bit of a grump on. But the mask for this is as you see, and again refer to the round of robins tutorial for how to fill the Basic Birdie template. And for this one, your base colour is warm brown. You do get again the PDF which gives you the weights and measures for the Basic Birdie template, and then you've got the information for your Wren mask, and the colours for this are warm brown, which is your base layer, and then your accents are natural linen and dark brown. So we're going to cover that. Make out your base shape. Just pop that over there, and this one is fairly simple. You have these little sort of oblongs here, and that relates to sort of these little colours. So what you're going to do is in these holes you're going to put the natural linen colour, and then in these two gaps in between, that's where you're going to put the dark brown. Pull yourself off a teeny tiny little bit. Oh, it's so small. Lightest needle. I'm going to roll it in my fingers just a little bit and then felt down. And for this, you want to fill up that void in the mask. And grab yourself another little bit and do the same thing. In the next slot there, and then finally that little one. There. And then that out. You can see you get these really nicely placed little slots. Now, if you want, you can take your birdie mask out, or take your birdie base out of your template, and you can use your mask by doing that, but then you're only going to use sort of these two slots, or move it that way one and use those two slots, so whichever way round you want to do it. I'm going to go that way because I'm going to use a larger one and then the smaller one. Again, really teeny tiny little bit of fluff. It might actually be a bit much, but that's okay. So I'm just going to felt that down, and then another teeny tiny bit of fluff, and go in that one. You absolutely can sort of freehand and eyeball it, but if you prefer, put it down and then move it over that way and use that one and that one to fill in, and you've got your nice sort of little wren stripes. So I'm going to pop him back into the template, a little bit more of the natural linen, just roll it very lightly, and I'm going to put in his eyebrow. It looks like an eyebrow. I'm going to put that in there. And that's just a really nice line. There we go. Same deal again down here. Tiny little bit of fluff in that slot there. And if you're doing this one double-sided, then you will want to take these colours, you know, around to the other side as well, and sort of cover that edge. Right. So there's my two natural linen stripes, and again I'm going to take that, I'm going to move it one over, and I'm going to use my template, or I'm going to use my mask to put in those two dark brown stripes. Tiny little bits, really is so small. Doesn't need much at all. There we go. So there's our little tail stripes, and I've got some quite wispy wool, so I'm just going to trim that off there. So I'll put in his eyeball next, and to do that, pop everything back in the template, grab yourself, and unfortunately again there's no real weights, but I'm going to roll this up into a bit of a ball that's around that sort of size, loosely there, and then very lightly go round on the edge, and that will put it in and give you that nice sort of round eye shape. Like so. What we'll do now is put in sort of an outer bit to the eye. You can see it's got a really nice crisp line, and to do that I'm going to take a bit of white. I'm just going to draft off the fibres so that I've got a nice piece. Roll it really tightly. Roll, roll, roll. There. And to do this, let me zoom in here. Get the ends and just give yourself that anchor. Then as we work around the eye, what you're going to do is twist those fibres. First barb on the needle and twist. And by twisting those fibres, you're going to get a really nice, clean line. So work around some more, twist. And again, first barb on the needle. And twist. And round again. And twist. Until we get right back round to where we started. I'm just going to nip that off and then just very loosely felt those ends in. There. So we've got a really nice bright circle around the eye, and we're just going to pop that light dot in. And to do that, again, it's just tiny little pieces, but I'm going to roll this up a little bit firmer so we've got a dot, and then drive through just a little bit, and you can see that a lot of the wool sort of disappears into that eye and just gives you that tiny little sort of light reflection in the eye, which I think always looks nice. So that's all that. Now we just have to do the belly part, and to do that I'm going to pop him back in there, back in there. I'm going to grab a little bit of the linen colour, and this isn't so much of a harsh line. If you can see, where are we? Here. It's sort of a bit more diffused, but this is just going to give us, and you can see I'm using very fluffy fibre, and all I want to do is just put a little bit down just to give me an idea of where that sort of line really diffuses. And we may pull this line back out because it may be too definite, but it gives us a start. And to begin with, I'm going to take my linen colour, which seems to have picked up every other colour that I'm working with. And I'm going to start down at the bottom edge. So down here it's going to be quite solid linen colour, and then as we move up to sort of here, it's going to be quite diffused. So I want to get a nice good amount of fibres down in the bottom. Give Give it a little bit of a wiggle. And that way it won't stick to our mat. And then that's a little bit much. What I'm going to do is just draft out. There's many different ways that you can do this. I'm going to draft off that at the moment. Just get my bottom edge in. And I can see now where my line is going to be. This is going to create too much of a line, so I'm just going to pull that out. And just start frizzing up these fibres. I'm going to scratch them up with the tip of my needle as well. And you can see that it just starts blending. And this is just a case of teasing this around. And then you can put your mask back in. You see, okay, I'm not near that line yet, but we don't want to go over the line. We don't want to take these frizzy fibres up into this part. So I'm going to grab another bit of the natural linen, and I'm really just teasing out a few fibres and laying them down just a little bit higher. Brushing them upwards. And that's going to create that sort of lovely belly fluff. Need a little bit more colour blocked out down there. And when you're doing these sort of frizzy bits of fibre, if you focus in one place, all of the fluffiness will migrate to the spot where you're felting. So jump about, still your light stabs, but jump about, and that will, what that will do is that will let a few fibres all over the place kind of anchor in, and then they don't pull quite so hard or quite to, you know, to one spot. There, and that's sort of what you want for your belly fluff. Here you can colour this in a little bit darker, and obviously take the edges round, and I'll show you how to do that. Because we've got this, you know, two completely different colours down here on this edge, to get that edge nicely sort of coloured in, what you're going to do is you're going to take some fluff and anchor it on this edge, but leave all of this frizzy. Now, if you're doing a double-sided birdie, then what I would do personally is I would do one side, then put my edges in, and then turn it over and do the other side. Because once you've got this anchored, you want that sort of frizzy bit off the edge, then what you're going to do is take your template, turn it over, turn your birdie over, and push it down into the template, and you'll see it brings all that fluff up to the back, and then just lightly felt it in place. There, and we will sort of go over the edge again a little bit more and just sort of firm it up, but you can see now that you've got a really nice good colour all the way around the edge. Okay, popping back in the template. I'm now going to use my clattering tool, which is my 5 needle, and I'm going to bounce, and so I'm not trying to drive these fibres through, I'm just bouncing, and this is really going to just nicely felt these fibres. I'm going to take this off, I'm going to go around that edge, and you would have done all of this. I'm not going to do that for time, but there, pop the birdie back in the template. Just very lightly go all over. There's our little wren. You can put him a little beak sort of separation line, and to do that I'm going to get a teeny tiny little bit, and again roll it really tightly, and I'm using obviously the dark brown, anchor it, and then take it out of the template a minute, roll it, anchor it, and then you're going to do that twist and felt, and that will give you a nice sort of straight line. Snip off any extras and then just felt along that line. Now, you might not pick it up on camera too well, but so there's the wren. It's maybe also worth pointing out that all of these templates do have a wiring hole, and what that means is that you can lay down half of the fibre, put a little loop of florist wire that comes down and out, and then lay the next lot of fibres on top. So effectively you can have birdies on sticks or wires. So that's all there is to the wren body, and the wing is very, very simple. We've got those slots again, so a nice bit of linen, just pull off a pinch, pop it in, next slot, it's a little much, and again I'm doing this very, very quickly, but a little bit more in that one, and then last little bit in that last slot there. It's a little bit messier, but there. So what I will do now is, you know, again, you can either freehand it or you can move it over one, and you're going to do these 3 inside in the dark brown. So grab your dark brown. Again, we don't want too much. And then just tap in that colour between the natural linen, and there you've got your stripes. That's one. Oh, that's too much fluff. And the wren is just, it's lovely to make. I love wrens. doing this. So you can see I've got some great big tufty bits. So I'm just going to go around and trim that off, neaten that up. And then the last one, just in there. First barb. You really don't use much of the needles for doing this kind of work. We're just very lightly colouring in. So there's our wing. There's our birdie. And then obviously I haven't finished my going around my edges and stuff here, but I'll just tidy those up. And then, you know, refer to the Round of Robins tutorial, but just attach your wing. And if you wanted to make your wing a little bit puffier, and just give it a little bit of a pinch. Yeah, you could make two of these, one facing that way and one facing that way, and then, you know, join them together around the edges. You can even give him, you know, put a little bit of extra fluff in the middle. Let's see, so I know these aren't, I've got the names on the back. But, you know, you can sort of do that. These weren't made together, but, you know, don't do the edges on them individually. Go round, join them all together, leave yourself a little pocket at the top. You've got a little Wren purse, fill it with something, or, you know, stuff it with some extra wool and then felt round, seal it all up, and then you'll have a wren with a little bit of a pudgier belly. So it's just, you know, taking this from a little bit more flat and making it a little more sculpted and rounded. So I'm gonna leave that wing just a little bit puffy on that side. So that's the wren, and I do believe that we have only one more left to do, which is the bullfinch. So we will crack on and finish up with our final birdie. Here are some what we put on, sort of some little Hessian bunting, and, you know, there's your bullfinch, there's your wren, there's your little blue tip there, there's your goldfinch, and, you know, there's a little blackbird as well. I mean, obviously there's no mask for him, he's all black. So it's just, again, same eye technique, but then you're just putting, I think this is our marigold colour, and, you know, just putting a little circle of marigold around the eye, giving him a little bit of a beak and that light dot, and you've got yourself a blackbird as well. So I'll pop a few more pictures up on screen as well. I do hope that you have enjoyed the video. Do give the video a thumbs up, and do subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you hit that little bell icon, that'll tell you when we upload new videos. So that's the Basic Birdie. Please do come and share your makes with us over in our Facebook group. That's www.facebook.com/groups/mumsmakery. So that's it from me and the Basic Birdie. I hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you so much for spending your time with me, and I wish you all a very crafty day.